So come on in, sound check done, let's begin. Breaking news, the guess is you, streaming live for you to view. Open House the podcast. Open House the podcast. Oh.
The amazing Summer. She definitely is something. Summer's something, everybody.
Hello, good morning.
We have a special guest, and you don't know this, but you've watched it. Okay, cool. You've watched the show before. Wait, if you're here, who's watching the show?
That's what I said. I was like, hey, you have someone, and it's not me.
Yep.
Somebody's watching. Yes.
Believe it or not, or you logged in on your phone to see what we were going to say. But very excited to have you on. I've got something at the end that we have to play because we typically run out of time.
Yeah, we like to play a game. Like,
Yes.
we like
Love
to
it.
talk and like have good conversations, but then like do something fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So excited
I
to
like
have
fun.
Kevin here. And
Yes. There it is again. Kevin Stewart
Kevin Stewart is in the house.
is in the house.
He is in open house.
I
am.
like that. We should turn that into a
I
thing.
like that too.
Welcome to the open house.
Oh, that's fun.
Kevin Stewart.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Did you get cookies on the way in?
No,
What-
we should got breakfast sandwiches or something.
Oh,
There
yeah,
is-
they
We
there-
got coffee, but
Yeah.
So now you run a podcast. You just showed me your
I do.
studio, which can I just first off, I shouldn't just ask you this on air, but this is how it works. Is there any subject that we can't touch on that you don't want to talk about?
open book.
Perfect.
I'm
so,
easy.
So you pay $4,000 a month for your studio.
Yes.
we pay $30 for this. And wow, what a difference. Let me ask you a question though, because how did that whole thing start with you and your show? Did you start like grassroots it, or did you just jump right in and just start hiring producers and studios?
So I 2 years ago did season 1, shot 9 episodes, maybe 10, in front of a Zoom camera and a
Oh.
computer in my office. Went on like most people do and bought a microphone. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot a podcast. Let's just do it. Bought a microphone, bought a better camera, set it up literally in my office. Adriana figured out how to do it all, and we filmed it and shipped it. Like that's just what we did.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a good process to it. It kind of, well, I can say it was bad, but it was
Yeah.
just, I wanted to do something more. I wanted to do something extra. And we were talking through how to do that. It was actually a Q2 goal for our company was to do that.
Yeah.
And then I met my good friend EJ, and we sat down just to catch up. He was telling me about the things that they were doing in the new cool business that they had started the year before. I knew he was producing a podcast for a friend of mine, and we got on the conversation and decided to do it together. So
Yeah.
so he produces it for me, EJ Swanson. Bolt Creative is the company.
Okay.
And they produce about, I think they're up to about 12, 13 clients.
Yeah.
And their production studio is right across the street. And it's awesome. They do a good stuff.
No,
they do
it's
a good job.
I
so
saw
it sounds
pictures
like
of
you
it.
were just like, I want to shoot a podcast. Like I want to do this. Let's just do it. Right?
That's how it works.
I'm kind of an
Yeah.
all-in kind of guy.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Like, dive in.
Yeah.
Cannonball.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
You can
those-
talk about it or
You're
be
a
about it.
cannonball guy. You
Yeah.
look more like a pencil diver.
No,
I
I like a good
swim?
cannonball.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a terrible swimmer.
What
but
I
it's
just
very
heard
fun.
is we should have a cannonball contest.
I think you're going to win.
Yeah, what is that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
I don't care as long as I win. That's
I just like to win.
It'll
yeah,
be fun.
I just like to win. Yeah, I got a membership over at Great Lakes Athletics Club. We could head
Let's
down there
go.
right now.
Just
right afterwards, jump
right
like
into the
it's
pool.
Raining,
Let's
though.
do it because I am hot.
Yeah,
Poor
it's
Summer's
warm
over
in
here
I am
just
sweating.
sweating.
Can
Yeah.
I just ask, how are you guys not hot right now?
I'm used to this in here, and it's been 100 degrees. I just got back from the beach.
Yeah, true. All right, just had to touch on that.
I just got back from. By the way, my birthday week was last week.
Yes, happy
yeah,
birthday.
yeah. I finally hit that age where I really feel old now.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's turned 40 last week.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice,
Yep,
nice.
yep.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Hey, you made
I
it
did-
to 40.
You're in the club.
Look at you.
I didn't.
Go.
Good for you.
I'm well into the club.
He says, good for you.
You're in the
I didn't
club.
try. It just
Way
kind of
to
happened.
age.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because well, let me ask you a question. Let's talk. How old are you?
42.
So you're 42. So 2 years ago you went through this.
Yeah.
Right? Was that like a big moment for you when you hit 40? Were you like, I'm here?
It didn't bother me. I threw a really, really big party.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I threw a banger. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Up at IO Club, we had a bunch of people up there.
Now, was it because you were turning 40 or was it just because you like to throw big parties?
Yes.
Got it.
Any excuse I can have
Yeah.
to throw a huge party,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I am here for it.
Yeah.
So did a big party there, and then a couple months later, me and 11 of my really good friends went to Scotland and went on a golf trip for 12 days.
Yeah.
And that was my 40th birthday present to myself.
There you go. Wow.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was fun.
It gives you a good reason to throw a big party.
Yeah. No.
Any chance I can get to do something fun, Summer, you've been around me enough now to know, like, if I get an excuse, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I will
You know,
run with
truthfully,
it.
so like when I turned 25, I felt like that was like a big moment, you know, like
She
from-
cried. She's like, I'm halfway to 50. I'm getting really old. I remember
it's
this
done.
moment.
But truthfully,
His
just
life
sitting
is
and thinking
over.
about it, I think like the next age where you turn like big age, right? When you turn 21 or you turn like 25, you're a quarter of the way there. But I think 40. I say this all the time. I'm like excited for my 40s because I hear so many good things. I don't know about men, but I know women in their 40s are great.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I thought my 30s were fantastic. I loved my 30s, but so far, love 40.
I hear that
like
all
it
the
doesn't
time.
bother me at all. It's
Yeah.
So
I'm
I'm generally
enjoying the crap out of
excited
my
to like
40s.
experience that one day.
Because I'm looking at 40s as I've got 2 young children. They're awesome, but now that I'm 40, I have the opportunity to do different things in life, and I can do things because I want to, and can make
You've had experience
better decisions.
in life. too?
Correct. And so I can work through things in a different way and for different purposes than just having to be on that every single day grind. That was my 30s. Worked my rear end off in my 30s, and I still do. But now I get to do it for different reasons and for different purpose, and it's more fun and it's more fulfilling. So that's what my 40s is going to be all about.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so fun.
So let me ask you a couple questions then. Now as my older 40-year-old mentor. It's funny because most people don't even know that, like, even my mom was like, wait, you're 40 this year, right? Like most people would have no idea. And I think that part of it is, and I'm sure that you feel the same way, like I feel like I quit aging somewhere between 15 and 16.
I'm like Peter Pan, dude. I'm never growing up.
Yeah.
Like, there's
We
no
say
way.
that. Our bodies don't keep up, but we say that, right?
Oh, yeah, my
Yeah.
body's falling apart.
Yeah.
But we get the blessing to hang out with people like Summer who keep us young.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
So
there you
I like to
go.
surround myself with young energy.
Yeah.
Because it
Until she
Deep-
gets old. I mean, she's
deep
going to
down
be 27.
inside.
You're gonna have to get rid of me next year.
deep down inside, like I still think I'm 25. Like
Yeah.
I think I act like I'm 25.
Is that where you left off at 20? Like I said, I think I left off
25
at
is
about
where I
15 or
stopped.
16.
I
You-
think
you
25 is
left
where
at
I
25?
yeah. I think that's where I was like, all right, I'm done. This
Yeah.
is where I'm going to be. I'm
This-
going to stay 25.
Forever.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think I left at 22. I'm still 22 technically, kind of.
Technically. I love how
You're just
people are
22
like
again.
technical.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically.
technical
technically
Just
people
start
are.
saying it when they ask your age. Just say I'm 22ish.
Ish.
Ish.
22ish.
Yeah.
I like a good ish.
Yeah. I ish everything.
Heavy on the ish.
Ish.
Yes, yeah.
A little extra ish.
Yep. No, I think everything should be ish because nothing's absolute, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So did you ever hit like? Have you hit? What do you think? I got asked this question the other day, and I thought it blew my mind because I wasn't. I mean, Summer, you've known me for a while, and you've really known me because we work together so well.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a consistent person. Like I still feel like I do the same things today that I did when I was 16, which is whatever, But somebody the other day asked me the weirdest question. They said I did something. I forget what it was, but it wasn't out of the ordinary. And they're like, "Oh, this is midlife crisis." And I'm like, "No, I do this like all the time. Like this is who I am."
What are you gonna share? What it was?
I can't. If I could remember, I would.
Okay,
But it wasn't
yeah.
anything. It
Just
wasn't
like a
anything out of
habit?
the. No, it wasn't even a habit. It's just me being me. You know, it's just something
You know,
quirky.
that's what makes you special.
Well, that's it wasn't just that.
That's it.
It's also the fact that my birth mom drank when she was pregnant with me. That also that's not true. I don't want to get an email. That is made up. I think
Now it's a party.
No, I was gonna go down the line of. Never mind. I was thinking injection jokes. You know, like what is it that everybody wants to get? Immunization shots. I was going to go down that line, but I decided not to because some people think that they really don't give autism. Anyway, we don't want to state our opinions. What's your opinion on autism?
Oh boy. You said what's off limits.
Well, I don't want to. I always want to. Like, are you a shot guy or a non-shot guy? Summer's getting ready for. Look, she's like nervous over there.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't really like vaccinations.
No,
It's not really.
Did
my
you ever
thing.
get any when you were a kid?
I'm sure I did. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's how they do it to you.
Yeah,
All of a
I was
sudden.
too young to know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I did. All the normal ones.
The
right?
the normal ones. Right. What was normal?
I mean, like chicken pox.
yeah. Yeah.
Our kids
That's it?
got them.
I don't
we had
know.
a couple that they.
Do your kids have all the shots?
Not all of them.
No. Which ones did you guys
I
skip?
don't remember. That's
Yeah.
that's a wife
Johnny, you're
question.
crazy.
That's a wife question. I have
You're
no
just
idea.
crazy.
I'm not- how do you vote? No, we know by the immunization question. So anyway,
It's not hard to figure out.
I like my freedom and I have money. It's not hard. I worked
Correct.
hard. I don't know. You're never gonna guess how I voted.
Tell me who you voted for without telling me who you voted for.
I work hard.
Oh, jeez. Summer's like, oh, I'm sweating even more.
I'm like, it's so hot. It's okay.
Oh yeah, it's fun. So tell us, speaking of that, let's talk about hard work then. How did your real estate career and then blossom? And Summer always tells me, she's like, you don't get it. He is known as the king of Lake Orion,
No, Rochester.
Rochester. Same thing to me. I'm not from this area.
Yeah.
But like, how did that whole thing start with you? Were you always entrepreneurial and sales oriented, or when did that start?
Yeah, so I, when I was in college, I wanted to own an ad agency.
Okay.
That was what I went. I went to school. I'm a high school dropout. We've talked about this lately, but I did go to college, so that's a weird story. So when I'm in school, I do an internship actually in Rochester at Dan O'Brien and Associates, and Dan Cobb's still a very good friend of mine. I'm sitting in my 1-year interview or my review, and I'm asking for more money. And he looks at me and says, "Well, no, you're going to get this standard raise." And I said, "Well, I'm doing this, and I have this. I'm this young cocky kid, right? I'm 22 years old at the time."
Yeah.
And I'm asking for this and that. And I said, he looks at me and goes, "Well, what do you actually want out of this? Like, what are you looking for?" And I said, I looked right at him. I said, "I want your job." This is the owner of the company. I'm like,
Wow.
I want your job.
I like that.
And he says, "You can't do my job." And I said, "I can do your job. Of course I can do your job." He said, "No, you can't. I'll prove it to you." He grabbed his computer, opened it up. He said, "Who's your client?" I said, "Henry Ford Health System." "Great. They just called and they need a new billboard. You have 15 minutes. Turned his computer on, slid it to me.
Yeah.
And I went, "Well, okay, so I got to go out there and I got to talk to 3. And he goes, "This is what you don't understand. If you're going to own the company, you have to do everyone's job as good or better than them.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's like to own a company."
Yep.
And he said, "I don't doubt that you can own a company. I think you have it in you. I just don't think you can own one of these companies unless you want to go back to school." And I went, "I'm not going back to school. That sounds terrible."
Yeah.
And I went and got a real estate license 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later. And went full time. Dove in, like we talked about, cannonball, dove straight in the pool. Had a really good first year, and then 2007 showed up.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this 20 years. This
So
is my
you
20-year
got
anniversary.
started right before the crash all started happening.
I was licensed in 2005, so I got a front row seat for the crash.
Wow.
But you also got a front row seat pre-crash, so that had to have been really crazy. What was that? What was that transition like? So you did good your first year because real estate was doing good.
I remember calling my dad. I called him and I said, "Dad, I am going to take this industry over."
Yeah.
I said, "These people are so lazy."
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm the only young person in the industry.
Yeah.
The next closest person, I was at Real Estate One in Rochester, and the next closest person in age to me was like 15 years older than me.
Yeah.
And then the next person from that was probably another 20 years past.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest person by a mile at this
Yeah.
place. And I'm like, these people don't hustle. They're never
No.
here.
They
There's no
cut
work
to-
ethic.
I started real estate 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am going to outwork everybody. Watch this. And I remember my dad was like, I think you will. And then had a great first year. And then I was like, oh, I'm 23 and the market just crashed.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
Yeah.
So I got really good at eating ramen noodles.
Yeah.
And not spending any money and borrowing money when I needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
and-
good skills.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
good skills.
Yeah.
And made it through.
Yeah.
So
So what did that, do you remember the feeling? So because you had to have felt like I'm on top of the world. This is, I mean, I'm going to crush it because you were crushing it, right? Then all of a sudden the economy crashed, right? And 2007 it crashed. 2008, 9, and 10 is really when we felt it. We were
Yep.
about 6 months to a year behind when everybody's like, oh crap. And by the time 2010 happened, when I got my real estate license, that's when we were in full on emergency mode because because I believe in the beginning, people weren't understanding fully what was going on. They were confused about the market.
they
Is
had
that
no
true?
idea. It was 100% true. They had no clue what was going on. And it was, I remember in end of 06, all of the loans changed, right? The way that people borrowed money, because I remember ninja loans. Like I remember how much money do you want to borrow? Cool.
Yeah.
Let's make a phone call. Here's the money. Like
Yeah.
it was that fast and easy. And then all of a sudden nobody could qualify for anything. And then people started losing their jobs and then foreclosure started coming up. And, you know, that's when I got into short sales, right? I
Yep.
learned that game really quick. I adapted that one fast because I just took the mindset of I'm going to out hustle people and
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Wow.
But people had no clue what was going on.
Right.
And agents, brokers,
None.
nobody knew. And keep in mind, when I'm in this time of the industry, teams didn't exist,
Right.
right? You came in. I remember my first day, I sat down at Real Estate One. I had a training class.
Yeah.
There was 4 of us in it because we all got licensed at the same time. And we sat down with Debbie Z, still a great friend of mine. Love that woman dearly. She now lives in Florida. She's retired. And Debbie sat down and she was the assistant manager in the office. And she's like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to write down on these note cards every single person that you know. And then you're going to take you're going to take notes and
Yeah,
you're going
yeah.
to write handwritten introductions to everybody you know, stick a business card in there, send them out, and then call them all. That was the game plan.
That was it.
And I was like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I sat there and I hand wrote
Yeah.
until my hand ached every single day, cards, phone call, phone call.
Yeah.
And that's how I started. But I had a big network. So you asked about Rochester earlier. Born and raised, townie, lived in the community my whole life. My father worked at Rochester, what's now Rochester Christian University, for 50 years. My mom for 38. So they worked there for a long time. So I grew up in the area knowing everybody. So I could walk down the street and get in a conversation with anybody. And then over the last 20 years, I've just grown that skill and honed it in better. So now I know what to do when I get in those conversations and how to, I don't want to say monetize the relationships, but get into genuine relationship with somebody that then eventually it monetizes.
Well, let's talk about, I want to go back to the transition, but let's talk about that for a second then, all right? So you get yourself into a conversation with somebody that you haven't met yet, and then you know how to, so let's role play that out, all right?
Oh,
so
fun.
yeah, this will be great. So I'm some dude. We're at, what's your favorite place in Rochester? Like, where do you just hang out?
Gosh, depends the night. Like last night we hung out. We were celebrating. Myself and Summer were celebrating. She had our first
Yeah,
closing with our
that's
company
it.
yesterday. So big shout out to Summer. First closing with our company. Very exciting night. So
What does this button do? Oh, nothing. All right, cool.
we believe on our team. We believe in celebration. Like, so we like to celebrate. We like to have a good time. I believe that celebrating creates momentum.
Yeah.
And goes to the next.
Yes.
So, but last night we go to Corner Bar. Right. That's a common place for
Yeah.
us. We got in a conversation last night. I'm talking to one person, someone I recognize from college
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
And it's this group of probably 6 guys.
Yep.
And unfortunately, they were together for a funeral.
Oh.
But they were it was post funeral, and they were all together in town.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
were going out for drinks, right?
Yeah.
And they all played soccer together.
Okay.
And Summer starts in a conversation with one of the guys. I'm talking with my buddy Kevin,
Yeah.
and we get in this great conversation. She ends up talking to him about buying a house. I'm talking with Kevin about what they're doing next. We
Yeah.
just have the conversation because they all know what I do.
Yeah.
So
And because I was with Kevin, they now know, oh, you work with Kevin. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. So they know I'm an agent.
She's
as well.
introduced
And
into
so-
the
Okay.
conversation.
All right, so we're gonna pick up from there. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I just overheard you guys talking to this dead guy's friends. Okay, and I'm gonna turn around because this is what they say, and we're like, so you work in real estate? How's the market? Right? That's that, and you don't know me, right? So we're there. I
love
heard
the
this.
how's the market conversation.
Yeah, yeah. So let's have
I
it.
actually, can I just say I had that conversation yesterday as well with at a different restaurant.
Yeah.
So,
let's
so
have
let me
yeah.
ask, what do you say when someone says how's the market?
No, we're role playing it.
I
right
can tell you
now.
what I
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, no, I'm the guy. We just happened. Let's actually role play it out. Let's not talk about what we do say. Let's actually do it,
Yeah,
right?
so
I
why do you-
turned around and I was like, how's the market?
Why do you ask?
Everybody just like to know what's happening, things are going on.
Well, I just assume that when somebody asks me that question, it's because they're thinking about buying a house or thinking about moving. So I just wanted to see if that's something you're thinking about doing.
I'm going to live in my house and forever.
Hey, I get that. Most people don't. Do you know the average person moves every 5 years, though?
Not me.
Not you.
No, I love my trailer.
Johnny's a tough crowd. I mean, Johnny Jr., whoever you are right now.
Drunk Johnny at the bar, I probably go, well, sir, you have a great night.
Would you
Talk
really?
to
That's what you
actually,
do?
though.
I would.
gonna
No,
be like,
I would get in conversation, but if the conversation goes in a weird direction,
Yeah.
I do know how to move on, right?
Yeah.
So,
How weird does it have
'Cause
to
to
get
me,
before you leave?
nope,
Ask me what I did last night. Like that, and then you're like, nope.
well, see you later. I'll engage in conversation for a good amount of time, but I mean, if someone's being a little too extra, then I'll roll out.
What I
What-
think, can I say? I think that, like, even if you're not talking, okay, you meet someone, they're asking about the market, you're trying to have a conversation, and you're like, this guy doesn't want to buy or sell. Like, that's not where this is going. But I'm going to sit here and we can chat for like 10 minutes about, whatever.
And
so it's like relationship building, and
Yes.
it's a skill.
And we've been talking about this, and when we talk about meeting new people, the thing that Summer's really good at, it's a natural talent of hers. She doesn't know she has it, but it's one of the things that attracted me to wanting to have her on the team because she's got an innate ability to create a connection. So for me, if I meet someone in a bar, I'm actually not trying to talk real estate. It may come up, they may want to have the conversation, but what I'm trying to do is maintain or build a genuine connection. I need to find common ground.
Yeah.
What do you like? What do you like to do? What are you drinking? Oh, I like beer too. Let's talk about craft beer. Let's talk about bourbon. Let's talk about wine. I can get on any conversation. Let's talk about cigars.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I can find mutual ground. So what I'm trying to do is create a connection that's memorable, find a common ground that we can get onto the same level,
Yeah.
and then find a need, fill in a need. So if you get into the conversation, you're just trying to ask questions, be super, super curious.
And then once you
And
leave
she's
the
good at this.
conversation, I mean, you just shared a bit of yourself, and this person now knows you, likes you, and maybe when it's their time, they're going to trust you
Well,
to be
and
their
last
Now,
agent.
when you say their time, are you talking about like?
I don't know what I mean. No, like when they're ready to do real estate.
Right.
They want to do a
well,
transaction.
and too many people in this industry think so transactionally. They think their timely matters if somebody wants to buy right now. So
yeah.
and that's never been my plan. That's never been my business plan. My just because it's who I am. I
Yeah.
want to have genuine connection with people. I want to get to know them. The time will come. If you have a connection with somebody and they know you and trust you, people hire the person they know the best, always. And they hire the person that they have to know that the technical capabilities are there, but it's the person that they have a connection with, right? The closing that we had yesterday, we met because of a past client that introduced us, and we were at a charity event, met him, and boom, all of a sudden he's a client 2 days later,
Yeah.
right? But we didn't know him. Now we've got to know him, and I believe that we will. I mean, he was texting us this morning
my
asking
gosh,
us to
yeah,
come
we
over
built
and
a
have
great-
drinks on his patio because he's getting ready to move in this
we
weekend.
built a great connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
that's
think
what
that's
agents miss.
That's I agree. I think that's the most fun part of being an agent is like the connection building. But like you don't just need to go out and be like, I'm a real estate agent. Do you want to buy with me? Like sell with me? Whatever. It's it's pushy. It's weird. It's not genuine.
And
right?
people aren't going to hire that. They don't want to. They want to hire you because they like you.
Exactly.
So you have to have a mutual connection. You have to get on a level playing field for them to make a decision that they like you.
How
And if they don't like you, they're never going to hire you.
how fast can you go from meeting a stranger to it's speed of trust, right?
Yeah.
How fast can you go from meeting a stranger to getting them to like knowing who this person is to doing business with them? Like how fast are you able to accomplish that?
That gentleman that we
Yeah.
just talked about from the closing yesterday,
Yeah.
that night,
Yeah. And did you know him prior to that?
nope.
How, you just met him and
4 hours.
So I was there too, right?
Yeah.
You were there initially, so you were there and then met up with us afterwards.
Yeah.
And I met him at, like I said, a charity event.
Yeah.
Through a mutual friend. We got in a conversation. He asked what I did for a living because people generally ask that stuff in get to know you conversation.
Yeah.
I ask him. He asks me. So again, I'm curious. So then he responds, well, what do you do? I said, well, I own a real estate brokerage. It's right across the street. It's right there. Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, I live in town. I got this and this, and I'm renting right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It starts, doesn't it?
And we get in that conversation. Then he starts asking me more questions.
Yeah.
Now he's asking me questions. So then we get in a conversation. And as we're leaving, I said, well, let's go to Corner Bar. Let's stop there. It's on the way back to your house. They're like, yeah, let's stop and have a quick drink. So we stop and do that, and we just create connection through a conversation on whiskey. We got in a bourbon conversation. But then he kept asking real estate questions. And then we exchanged information. I followed up with him the next morning, and he was like, yeah, I actually am thinking about moving. I want to buy. I want to live in Rochester. I really like it in here, and I think I want to lay down some roots. And he said, from what everybody told me tonight, you're the guy to talk to. And I said, yeah, we'd love to have that conversation. Let's do that. And that's when I introduced him to Summer. And then he texted the next morning and said, hey, actually, there's a house that I want to see. I'm texting her saying, hey, can you set this up? He wants to see this tomorrow. Are you available? And she goes, yup.
That was it.
Showed him 2 houses.
Yeah. And he bought. Now, the one thing that I want to be clear on, because people hear stuff like this, and then they go out there and will have a conversation with two people, and neither of them are ready, and then they get super depressed. In order for that type of stuff to happen, you also have a database that must be so large with thousands of people that aren't doing anything today. You know what I mean? So it goes back to that, having that database, and that he was one of your 1,000 people that you're staying in contact with that was ready, which is why the larger your database is, the more a chance that you're going to actually have somebody that's going to be doing something.
To a degree, yes, but I focus small. So that conversation introduction came because the gentleman who introduced us is on what I call my VIP pyramid.
All right, tell us about that.
So my VIP pyramid is 85 people.
Okay.
There's a top 10, top 10 best relationships. Like my wife is on that. My dad is on that. My best friends are on that. Then there's 25 additional relationships that I focus on. These are the people I live life with, my friends. A lot of them are past clients just because it's worked out that way. I have a next 25. These are people that I really like that I'm getting to know better. And then I have 25 business relationships, people that I partner with and have done business with in some capacity, right? 85 people. I focus on that 85, and that's it.
Wow. Okay.
But I go super deep with them. I can tell you on the top probably 40 relationships, I vacationed with every single one of them.
Really?
I spend real time with these people. Like I talk to them every single week.
Yeah,
Some of them every single day.
It's been interesting to learn about how he set up his VIP pyramid, and then he's
and we're working on developing Summers.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool. Like let's build you your pyramid.
Okay. Well, so let me. So you're running kind of a so you're taking them places. You're doing the true VIP experience type of thing, right? Renting out the movie theaters, taking them out to events, going out on the lake, boats, tours, stuff like that.
Hosting social hours. Getting people together constantly to meet and network.
When did you start that? And let me ask you this then. If you're a newer agent or a broke agent that has never bothered doing that, and you've just focused on, Facebook leads or some, what these agents focus on today, how do you start that pyramid, and how do you start it with no budget? Because that you're already at big picture stuff. How did you back up to when it was 2007? When did you start building that pyramid?
I built that pyramid probably 12 years ago.
Okay.
Give or take. I learned it from my business mentor, Ben, and from Dayton Schrader.
Okay.
Awesome, incredible mentor of mine that lives in Texas, San Antonio. And I learned that from them to build this out, because the idea is, we have a database. There's 14,000 people in it, right? I think we were pulling it up yesterday. Now we have the warm side of the database, which is people that if she picks up the phone and calls and says, hi, this is Summer from Stewart team. I just joined Kevin's team and I'm super excited. That's the call she's making right now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call and introduce myself because I hope to get to meet you someday. I hear you're a great past client of Kevin's, and I just want to call and say hi. Is there anything we can do to help you? She's making those calls to our database right now. But that's about 1,900 people, right?
Okay.
That's a smaller. So we section it down. But my time is now spent with that small. So the question with a new agent, right? you don't have to have 85. You just need to start with some people, right? And we all have relationships. You have family, you have close friends, you have people that you would call at 11 o'clock at night if you have a problem. They need to be on there. The person that, if it's a Friday night and you just had a huge win, you probably could think of 5 people that you'd say, these are the first people I want to celebrate with.
Mm-hmm.
Put those people down. Don't think about, oh, can they get me business? Don't think business.
Yes.
Think relationships. Because the depth of the relationships that you have in your life is what's going to fulfill your life. But people, when you're in that close of relationship, want to take care of you. They want to support you. And if they know that you sell real estate, now you have, even if it's 10, you have 10 people trying to find you a client. If 10 people referred you one person, that's 10 deals. So think of it that way. If I'm focusing on 85 people, if all 85 of those people send me one person a year, which isn't that big of an expectation, it's 85 closings.
Yeah.
I'm focusing very small. And on that, I probably get, I think last year, 70, 80% of our business came from that list, from that pyramid.
So that means that out of the 85, you're getting about 55, 60 transactions out of that?
A year, at
that
least.
Are just referred over.
All referred over. And you want to know, they're super strong clients.
Yeah.
Because they're calling and saying, hey, Derek just told me to call you. He says you're the best. I'm his friend, and he told me to give you a call because I'm thinking about moving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Derek's the best. It's now Circle of Trust. Derek's the best. Man, how do you know him? Oh, we talk about Derek for a while.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, he knows he can trust me because he trusts Derek.
Yeah.
Right? There's the trust factor's immediately there, and then we can go from there. We can build the trust relationship. So when you get those in, now if you're getting a Zillow lead, that person doesn't trust you because you're one of 30 people that's trying to call them.
Yep.
They're probably annoyed by you. I would rather have the person that calls and says, hey, somebody sent me your name. I hear you're the best. Can we have a conversation? Heck yeah, we can. Let's have a conversation. When can you meet? Right? Okay, I'm going to bring my partner Summer with me, and we're going to sit down and we're going to have a conversation about you moving. That's the way I've built it. So, but start with the list of the people that you care about the most, the people that you want to live your life with. That's what you start with. And it doesn't have to be 85 people. It could be 20.
Yeah.
But focus on those 20 and go really deep with them. And you don't need a big budget because you want to know what? This right here, coffee is super cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sit down and have coffee. And these are people you're living your life with anyway. You're meeting up for a drink. You're meeting up for lunch. You're meeting up for coffee. You're just literally texting during the day. Just, hey, man, what's up? How's your day going? That's free.
Yeah.
So the reason that I did it this way is because I didn't have money. I knew I could be in a relationship with people for free. I didn't have 10 grand a month to go buy Zillow. I've never bought Zillow leads. I think they're trash. Like I'll go on record saying I think they're hot garbage. They're expensive, and Zillow's stealing our clients. They've been doing it for years. They are cannibalizing our industry. I'll say it very clearly. I would rather have people that call and trust me and get in those conversations than have Zillow feed me my business, because they can turn that off at any moment.
Yep.
I don't want my business to be turned off by anybody. So I want to build a sustainable business that can work in any market, up, down, left, right. People will still take care of you if you're in a relationship with them. And so I did it because I was broke. I think all agents, especially young agents that are listening to this right now, start with that list. If you started and they just focus on that list for 1 year, now it's a long-term play.
Yeah.
So you have to think you're not going to get business tomorrow, but you will get business down the road.
How long? So you started this 12 years ago. So it was already post-crash, right? And that was when the market, 2012, 13, that was when the market started to go get, actually it's when people started realizing the market was getting better again. 2010, we started to see the adjustment. By 2011 and 12, the market had already gone up. Everybody still thought they were getting a deal because they were watching shows from 2007 about buying crashes, right? And then by 2015, we were the sky. So
we're on fire.
How long did it take for you after you built that list before it started to cultivate business?
Now,
out
keep
of it?
in
Like,
mind,
what can somebody expect?
Keep in mind, I formalized that list probably 12 years ago, 13 years ago. I've been doing it for 20.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me. I had been doing it this way. I just never had anybody systematize it for me. I had always said, I don't have money to buy leads, but I do have time to invest into people. So my whole young career was that. It was just asking more questions and asking people to introduce me to their friends. Who do you know that I should know? I made a lot of those phone calls. But then I got the systems in place to actually put it down on a sheet of paper, have it Summer will tell you, it's on the wall next to my desk. So I look at that every single day. So when I don't know what to do next, I go, all right, who on this list have I not talked to yet this week? And I pick up the phone and I call them. And I just try to connect. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then they ask the question, how are you doing right now? How's the market? How's this? And we get to have those questions. And then they say, well, actually, I've got a friend that I was just talking to. Can you give them a call? Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me their number.
And then at like the very least, even if it's not that, like it's not always easy. You know, you call the person, what I'm bored, I don't have any business right now or something. Let me call my guy. But at the very least, what you're getting is that good relationship and that good conversation, and he still knows and trusts
That's
you.
the key to it right there. Because what you're doing is the worst case scenario is you're getting energy.
Right, yeah. Like
The worst case
absolute
scenario when
worst
you're
case
calling your
scenario.
friends,
Yeah.
oh no, I have to connect with someone I like.
Yeah.
Like it's
No.
the easiest, funnest call to make. And the amount of times that, because I'm not calling them for business, I'm calling
Yes.
because I want to be a part of their life. And I gain energy off that call every single time. Sometimes it leads to business. Sometimes it doesn't. That doesn't matter. It leads to stronger connection with people I care about. That's the have it all lifestyle.
So let me ask you a question. How would you, if you were a high, I'm just thinking different personality types, right? So if you're a high D that hates people, all right, and like you don't actually care to have 10 friends, nor do you because you've burned all your bridges, how does that high D go out there and do that? Or are they the ones that have to just find a different path?
They're the ones that shouldn't be in this industry.
They're the loudest ones in the industry, though.
I don't think if you don't want to genuinely connect with people,
Yeah.
this isn't the business for you. I would argue that to anyone. There's
Yeah.
better jobs that you could find that will pay more money.
I don't know, man. You got the Grant Cardones of the world. There's tons of KW people that are up at the top, and they're all high Ds. They're the loudest on the stage. They're the ones that can't figure out why the rest of us can't do it.
Yeah. Well, and some of them, I mean, but it's because they're high drivers. They're motivated.
Yeah.
So there's Grant Cardone is very systematized, right? And
Yeah.
he has a very specific game plan in real estate. It's to buy a ton of it,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
leverage the crap out of investments. That's a great business plan. That's different than selling. Grant Cardone would not be a good realtor. Now, he could figure it out. I guarantee it. Because
Yeah.
he's intense.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's where his passions lie, right?
Yeah.
His passions don't lie in that. So I think that there's a lot of people in the industry, if you don't want to be in a conversation with somebody, I look at it and say, why would you do this industry? Like,
Yeah.
to me, that plane doesn't land. And maybe it's because I'm far from that.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I can't wait to be
Are
in
you
conversations.
a high IS personality? Have you done your personality test?
I haven't done a disc in a long time.
I'm assuming you're high I, high S. I'd have to see your phone.
Johnny
I
knows.
actually-
Johnny's really good at like
At disc?
reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done a disc in a long time. We've done Enneagrams for you. Have you ever done
Okay.
Enneagram?
Yeah.
So I'm a 7.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is the, glasses not just half full. It's like getting ready to overflow any minute. Don't worry, guys. Everything's fine. It's fine. Right? Like, I am the ultimate positive, figure it out individual.
Got it. Good.
It's true. I can attest. Honestly, a lot of what Kevin like touched on and like being genuine and stuff like that, that was kind of the main, like there was so many other reasons that I wanted to join Kevin's team, but like that was the thing that I
Yeah.
was like, he cares. And it was so cool because not everybody cares.
And she does too. So this is the thing. When I would say, because I'm very picky about who I bring into the company. I protect our culture. I protect what we do and how we do it. I'm super, super picky about it. I'm not a recruiter. I don't like doing it. I want to get to know someone. And if I see something that I can't teach, I can teach basics. I can teach it to anyone.
Yeah.
But I can't teach personality traits.
Yep.
I watch Summer go and create conversations with complete strangers all the time, and she's very good at it. I can't teach that, and I can't teach the drive to want to do it. She wants to do it. She's just like me in the fact that she can go make a friend out of a door. Like,
Yeah.
no problem.
I've seen
it's
it.
super easy. And so that's a
You
natural...
guys are making me so happy right
That's
now.
a natural personality trait that it's tough for me to teach because you want to do it or you don't.
Right.
But
Or
I
not even-
surround
it's-
myself with those types of people.
It's not even that you want to do it. It's just sometimes like you naturally just do.
It's just who
Now
you
I can
are.
tell you like some of the high Ds or some of the ones that don't necessarily want to do that. They work really well administratively in this industry.
Yeah, they do.
They're great in the processing side. We have people in our team that are very different personalities than us. We're the ones that want to be out all day, every day. We
Yeah.
can't wait to go talk to people.
Yeah.
But then we've got Hannah on our team who doesn't really want to do that. She'll get into those situations. She's good at it, but it's not her natural. Her natural is she wants to be under a blanket in the office on the computer, taking care of everything.
Taking care of
And
everything.
she loves it.
Yeah.
She loves it. So
And
it
we
allows
love
her
it.
to be who she is, and we let her do that while we go do this. So we also change out the way we approach each client and each individual transaction. We let administrators be administrators and
Yep.
salespeople be salespeople.
Yep.
Right? And if we allow them to do their job, we can go do our job at a higher level.
I love that. That's great.
Fun.
I like it a lot.
Yay.
There's a couple of things that I want to talk about. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to them because I want to make sure we get to this game, which means this is crazy. We're probably going to have you back again.
Oh, no.
But before we do that, I have this. I'm so excited for this. We definitely do have a game that I want to play, and so we'll go ahead and cue the music, and everybody knows the lyrics to it, right? You know it, come on. Today's game, this is called yes,
I got
there,
it, I
thank
got
you.
it, I got it. Holy moly.
Holy moly.
This is a fun game. So I don't know if you know about this, and I hope that this is okay. By the way, this game is called Biography Me, the Stewart versus Stewart edition. You know,
Okay.
with a last name like Stewart, you've got 70 ways that it can be spelled, and you've
Yep.
got a ton of different famous people that have had your last
Lots.
name. So you probably know some about some of them, right?
Maybe.
So what we've done is I put together a game, and we pulled from the unofficial biography of Kevin Stewart. So I hope you don't mind. I know you don't know this yet, but there is a book called The Unofficial Biography of Kevin Stewart. We will tag you in that Instagram post with some of your quotes. But you have to decide and tell us which Stewart this is,
Okay.
including if we pulled this fact out of your new book, The Unofficial Biography of Kevin Stewart. So you ready for this?
Yes.
All right, here we go. So the first one was, what Stewart was a gravedigger at Highgate Cemetery in London?
What?
Yeah. That
In
wasn't you, I'm
London? That was
assuming.
definitely not me.
They did this before they made it big as a rock star.
A gravedigger.
A gravedigger?
Yeah.
Famous Stewart?
A famous gravedigger Stewart that later became a rock star.
I don't know.
Okay.
Clearly, I don't know my Stewarts.
Yeah. That would be Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart.
Rod
Yep,
Stewart,
yep, yeah, he
yes.
is pretty famous.
Okay. Which Stewart has an ongoing, deeply personal rivalry with squirrels in the backyard?
Oh, Stuart Little.
Nope, that would
No.
be you. You have that one. That is from your book, The Unofficial Biography of Kevin Stewart. Which
I'm not
Stewart?
very good at this so
Which
far.
Stewart didn't own a passport until they were 42 years old,
That's definitely not me either.
despite being a globally touring actor?
Jimmy Stewart.
No, that would be. I gotta find. That would be Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
You got to study your Stewart.
Yeah.
I
Mr.
clearly don't.
Stewart.
Well, you know, I mean,
Which Stewart once tried launching a dog-friendly golf course where every hole was named after a Detroit athlete?
oh, I should do that. Is that me?
Is you. Yes. Congratulations.
I like that idea.
That was you.
That's a
yep.
fun one.
Uh,
I'll have to write that one down. That's neat.
oh, you've got 10 of these. Which Stewart composed the full soundtrack for the original? Are you into video games at all?
Mm-mm.
You're not going to know that one.
I'm
Let's
not
skip
going to
that
know that.
one.
Summer's into video games. Maybe she could help.
Summer, do you remember the game Spyro the Dragon, the video game trilogy?
I do remember, yeah.
My son, I think, plays that game. He likes video games.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Call him. Ask him.
I don't think he doesn't have a phone. He's 8.
Oh.
He's a baby.
He doesn't have a phone. Yeah, so that one was
There's no
Stuart
calling
Copeland. Let's see. Okay.
See, because it's first and last names. That's the hard part.
It
I
is.
have a first last name.
Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah, you are right.
Tough.
Yes.
No, this is fun. Oh, this is really fun. Which Stewart was born as a human, in the original 1947 book, but looked like a mouse that was later re-released as a mouse and never explained why?
It's
Do you know
You
it?
have to help. This is phone a friend. We're in
is
this
it
together
not
right now.
Stuart Little?
It is
Stuart Little? I was gonna say, we
That
talked
was
Stuart Little. I was like, that may be
Yes.
Stuart Little.
That's
That was Stuart Little.
I love Stuart Little. He's the best.
Adorable.
Cute little guy.
Who blocked a former Pistons player shot at Rochester Rec Center and still talks about it?
Oh, that'd be me for sure.
Oh, that is you. Yeah. That's it. I will. I'm gonna wrap this up. This is. I will read you. Let me read you. This is. I gotta find him here. Rod Stewart. There was one more that was really interesting in here, and that was this one. Let's see if you can get this one. Before becoming a domestic icon, this Stewart worked as a model in 1960 and appeared in Chanel commercials. You know who that is?
Jimmy Stewart.
No, I'll give you a hint. Snoop Dogg.
Snoop?
Snoop Dogg. What Stewart? Snoop Dogg. Oh man, you got to get this.
I don't think I got it. What?
Wait, stop.
Help.
I don't know
Dogg.
the answer. I have no help. I have no help.
That would be Martha Stewart.
Oh,
my
that's good.
God.
That was a
Martha
good clue.
Stewart.
That was
Yes.
a good clue.
Yes.
wow.
Well, how many Stewarts hung out with Snoop Dogg?
It's true.
Jeez
Yeah.
whiz, yeah.
Yeah.
So here,
Good old
just
Martha.
so I and we're gonna post these later, and then we'll make a little social post about this with your brand new book, the unofficial biography of Kevin Stewart. But
Who
excuse
wrote
me.
this book?
Me and Johnny, I guess.
I like it.
With the
here-
help of ChatGPT.
Here are the top 10 things that we pulled out of your book for this game. Number one was, before getting into real estate, Kevin once tried opening that dog-friendly golf course in the it was named after hole number 9 was your favorite. It was the Chauncey Billups backspin.
There you go.
Yes, Kevin
Yeah.
also once played basketball with a former Pistons player at Rochester Rec Center and blocked a shot.
Yeah.
To this day, he refers to it as the moment I peaked athletically. That was a quote right out of your book there. You also were talking about your first entrepreneurial venture when selling friendship bracelets door to door in Rochester Hills.
Love it.
I can see that.
Your pitch was buy one and I'll mow your lawn.
Oh, that's a good pitch.
Yep. You have
I love learning things about myself that I did.
Here's something about the squirrels in your backyard. You've tried multiple contraptions to keep them away from your bird feeders. Nothing has worked.
I have bird feeders?
Yep, in your
Yeah.
backyard.
You like
Listen,
birds.
this is your book. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, you once trained for a half marathon without realizing it wasn't a basketball tournament. You thought that the Rochester half was a local 3-on-3 league. Despite being a real estate broker, you yeah, that's not right. Oh, yes, it is. I love this. This is funny. This is good. Despite being a real estate broker, you still occasionally do use Zillow, but it's only to roast the bad photos.
Yeah,
Oh
there we go.
my-
That's good.
okay,
That's
that's-
100%
that's
something
in
I
the
would do.
Bible.
It
That
says
one
you
lands.
actually-
That plane lands.
Yeah.
You usually believe that your dog Winston is smarter than most people you negotiate with.
Probably true.
Direct quote. You once
Oh,
said that
Winston.
Winston could sniff out a bad appraisal before it hits the inbox. You've memorized every Detroit sports championship stat from 1984 onward, which is really impressive.
Now, that'd be impressive. I have a friend who does that. You can literally rattle them all off. It's impressive.
That is impressive.
Let's see here. Last one. You still keep writing a handwritten list of every client that you've ever worked with and occasionally add random emojis next to the name based on their vibe, such as fire guy and talks too much, but I like him.
I like a good nickname. So that plane lands as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yes.
love a good
yes,
nickname.
Yes.
That is, and that is the game show.
That
Wow,
was-
that just ended there. Did you hear that little blip of music?
I did.
That was really fun.
That's
That was a
okay.
good time. Well, we got about 5 minutes left to wrap up. I wanted to. Oh, we've lost ourselves again, Summer. There it goes.
Oh.
I wanted to end with like a not a cliff note, but I really want to. I love this idea of the triangle, right, or the pyramid. Excuse me. So, what we've there's a lot of different principles that were talked out throughout the show, And one of them, which right off the bat is with the podcast, just go out there and start.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the advice is the same about starting your pyramid, right? If you were to say, like, starting your, like, what is the actual, like, this week, right? We got 3 days, today's Wednesday. So there's 2 days left in this week. If I want to start a pyramid that will set my business up for 2026, because we already got to start looking ahead, what do I need to do in the next 2 days that could set me up for the best future in 2026 and beyond?
Love it. Go through your contacts, through your phone. Look at the people that you want to call.
Oh,
So
I love it. Want to call.
You want to call. Not have to, not because a list told you to. Who do you want to call that you would get energy if they picked up the phone and answered? Start there.
Yeah.
And say, who are
I'll
the
be
people I
waiting.
want to spend time with? Right? Who do I want to see today? Who would I like to go hang out with this weekend? You have to genuinely want to spend time with these people. If you don't, it won't work.
How do you? So let me ask a real side note question then. Again, because I've been coaching for 10 more longer than that. I don't know how long now. And there's a lot of agents that are introverts. They get in this business and they do good once they actually start doing business, because
Yes.
everybody loves an introvert, but they don't get out a lot. So how would you start building that list if you're one of those types of agents where when you look at your phone, like you forgot to put people in, you don't really have those people in your phone? How do you even start building those relationships to begin with?
You can go on social media. I mean, we all have relationships. It's hard for me to answer because it's foreign to me. Like,
Yeah.
that concept is foreign to me, so it would be hard for me to coach someone on that. But I've got some guys that I coach right now, and one of them, he is a little more introverted, and so we're constantly talking about that. And so one of his goals that he has to do right now is he has to meet 5 new people every week.
Okay.
He has to report to me how many people he met.
Yeah.
And then his goal is also to start every week with 10 appointments, an opportunity. And these can be like, can we have a coffee?
Got
so
it.
I'm actually trying to forcefully teach him to be an extrovert.
Yeah.
Right. And it's harder for him. It comes natural to me. It comes natural to Summer. But for some people, you're right. But you have to have a systematized reason and plan to do that. So first you have to identify. You have to say, these are the people that if I spent more time with them, my life would be better. That's a question that you can ask, right? And then once you start working those relationships through and getting to know them better, that's when you can start realizing, okay, do I want to keep them? Do I want to go deeper and get to know them better? Or are they somebody that's not going to work out, right? I've had people on and off this list multiple times for years. I work on it all the time. I meet someone new and I'm like, man, I really, really enjoyed getting to know them. I want to get to know them more. I may throw them on the outskirts of that and say, I needed the mental reminder to make sure I'm getting to know them better. So the best thing someone can do, even if they're introverted, is just have a little bit of a plan, right? I have time on my calendar every single week to make these touch points, to make these phone calls, to connect with these individuals, to send them a video. It could be you sitting on a computer and sending a Facebook message.
Yeah.
It could be you sending, going in and commenting on some of their photos and saying, hey, man, I really miss you. I'd love to see you sometime, right? People have different ways to connect. You have to know what fits for you because you have to have your own vibe. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it'll work for everybody. But you have to have some sort of plan that creates connection because it ultimately comes down to connection. Like we were talking about when you meet someone new. The first thing you always do is try to find common ground. How do we get along? What's something we can talk about? And what's something that we can, next time we see each other, we're going to remember? And then just find a need, fix a need, right? So what can you do to help them? If people spent more time being focused on how they could help other people, everything would start coming back their way. So I want to live my life making sure that you guys are better off because you know me. And eventually that will work out well for me.
So how are you remembering? So you have a conversation with Bob. You want to remember, Bob's got a dog. You have a dog, right? Like, so you found that as common ground, whatever. How are you remembering this? Does your brain just automatically remember, or are you storing this somewhere?
I'll keep notes on my phone.
Okay.
Summer's seen it. I have notes for bartenders and servers' names on my
I was
phone.
like, how do you remember their names? He's like,
I write it down.
I wrote it. I was like, that's so
So
smart.
all of the bars in Rochester.
Yeah.
I have notes on different servers that I've connected with or bartenders.
What do you
I've
do? Just
connected
pull a notebook out right then and there and
with. No,
start
I
writing
literally go on
stuff?
my phone and I have a notes
He
in notes
does.
section.
He does it right then
Can I
and
see
there.
it?
Yeah.
I just want to.
And it's funny because like
He
when
does
you
it right there
showed
while
me,
you're in front of him.
I've never noticed.
Show me Summers. Pull
though.
Summers' file up. Why are you laughing?
Well, I was
But
in there at the
this-
point. I'm not in there anymore.
Literally
That's
just people.
crazy. Show the. Well, I guess don't show the. There's a list
Yeah,
of people and
that's fine.
names, and
No,
So it's little
Johnny,
people that
he'll-
I've connected with.
Yeah.
over
so
the
you literally
years.
just type their name and then you just type the little thing
And
next
my
to it.
my
so
brain can
discreet about
disconnect
it,
that, and I'm
but-
discreet. It's like someone's
It's
texting.
just like he's
they
on
go
his,
away
he's
and I
always
do
on his
this,
phone.
That's
and then
crazy.
and I'll come into a restaurant and I'll see them and I'll be like, oh crap.
Yeah,
'Cause
who is this?
I forget people's names all the time.
That's me,
And I'll pull it out.
yeah.
I'll go. Oh yeah, that's Chris. Hey Chris, what's up, man? And now they're like, oh my gosh, you remember
He
my name?
remembers my name.
Yeah.
It's because I wrote it down.
Yeah.
I have to write stuff down. Like that's and they'll so if I get in a conversation with somebody, she can look through our follow-up boss and she can go into people in there and you could click and you could see all sorts of personal information. It's just
Yeah.
me mind dumping my notes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the next morning, next day. I probably should get better at this, but anything that I believe is a connection point with them, I want to remember,
Yes.
right? Because people want to know you care.
Yeah.
And if you never remember anything about them,
Right. You're not.
they know you don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so if you take the time to train yourself to get to know them, you have to be able to call them. Now you can Facebook stalk them too,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
So you can go on. Every time I meet someone new, I go on. I connect with them on social media
Yeah.
because now they see me and I see them,
Yeah.
and we're able to. They get to know me and I get to know them just by seeing, oh, well, what makes them tick. And then next time I see them, hey man, I saw that you were out at a golf trip out here. Tell me about that golf course. I love playing golf.
Yeah.
I didn't know you played golf.
Yeah.
Right. And now all of a sudden we're on a whole nother track of a connection point.
Wow.
So it's just trying to find mutual ground and being super, super curious.
I love that. I love that a lot. Listen,
I do too.
it is that time. I do want to say real quick though, if you again to pick up a real quick note, if you during this podcast when you're re-listening to it, chances are somebody talks up inside your head. Well, we were talking about some stuff. What should they do with that, Kevin?
You need to write it down and take action.
Let's begin.
What button?
Breaking news.
The
The guest is you.
All right, it's time to
Streaming live for you to view.
whatever way that you want to do that. And we're ending open house the podcast. Thank you guys for watching.
We'll see you next time. I'll bring French cookies. Get your
Open
pyramid
house
started.
podcast. Ooh. The door is open, so come on in. Sound check done, let's begin. Breaking news, the guest is